This is day 1436 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Our learning should be disclosed for Am Yisrael in our ongoing war. Today we're supposed to be doing, I should say. You're there, Sim Reis Amach Zayin, Sif Ayin Zayin to Pei Gimel, but by mistake, I included Ayin Zayin in yesterday's Arukh HaShulchan. So we're going to start from Ayin Ches. Ayin Ches. Just like we said that two women cannot get divorced the same get. So two so two slaves can't get released with the same bill of release. If somebody who releases both the slaves one star, they will not go free. Therefore, somebody who writes all of his property to two of his slaves in one star, didn't acquire neither themselves nor the property. What two rights? Of course, somebody who writes all of his property to two slaves. Each one acquires half of the property. He bought half of himself and half of his friend. They have to release each other. The Sicilian wrote two documents. He wrote each one, each all my property is given to so my slave. Or he wrote that half of property is given to so my slave. Half is given to so my other slave. He gave both to both of them. No, it sounds like it's two different documents still. He gave he gave them both documents to one person. Or the White Talmud says he didn't give over two stars together. It was obviously two stars. If you wrote in each of them, both of my documents, all my property is given to so and so my slave. First one together requires it. Second one gets nothing. Already given to the first one. Each star wrote half the property. Even if he specified the other half, and that's other half. The first, they don't either acquire. The first one does not acquire Shavei Shir because he left over. Since the first one was a Kona, Sheni Nami Lokana. Second was Kona as well. If he didn't specify in either of the shtoros, but the other half, even they get both together. Lo Kana didn't acquire the could give the same out to each one of them. His share so left over in his bestowal. But if he wrote them all of his property in one document, regardless they didn't acquire anything, I test and they called before him. All of what he says is clear. But that which was the Shapirish B'chol Star, when he specified each star the Chatzi should Noisane was that the half is given this one, ain't no Noisane Zeh, he's not giving the other one. Gave to both documents to one person together. She's going to acquire their behalf. The Zochstein that they both acquire. There are rabbis who argue this. We know the money. This in this scenario doesn't work. Ramban's on listen time. Ramban, given that from basic explains. So he gives half his property to his friend. Chol said that he doesn't get half of each field and half of each vessel which the guy owns. Rather, we evaluate the property. He takes the lesser half. Therefore, this fellow to whom his master wrote half his property, the evidence not including that half for law, so it's null and void. For Ran and Tom, the Ran in Gindaf Chabez gives Evan is only released in this document in his hand. Requires to be no left over. This star only half the ever went free. Like a sheer or high, the star of his friend indicates there's nothing was left over. And Chatzi Osheni, because the other half is specified there. So at least it's entirety. That's not effective. You cannot be released by his friend's document. When he's sharing his own document, there's a remainder. Rambam the Rambam right? The slave is part of the property, but he left over half. He's a sheikh whenever time to release. In the brackets, he says, "I be said should be called Deus But he still brings opinion. Shahora Sidman Test Sasam Advarim. Sure, this is very brief. The Gamras Karami holds like the Rambam, the Ayin Taz, because the Chav Vlavim Mashkas. I don't understand what those Taz wrote. The Laran Lomani, because of the co-star, Shinosi Kochasa, plenty of other. Why does the Taz say that according to Ran doesn't work? If you own each star that you gives all its property to so a slave, school and shop, Flama and a boil, why doesn't work? It's not sure, Viduk. Payam Shachar Chatzi Av the Star, somebody who releases half a slave in the star. Look on evidence says Chatzi evidence not requires half, and the star ever commotion remains fully a slave as he was. The star, the ever Gomina Michuv Sholon Law, star of a slave, we learn from the Pasuk by Shivcha, by her test that her freedom is not given to her. Yofina Lola Meisha, and we learned that law from a woman and from a wife. The Maisha and Mitzvah you can divorce half a wife. Af ever came to a slave. The Chayin Shivcha Bekesa. If we released him by payment of money, Yol Shar Chatzio, he can release half of him. That's a Chatzio Mechon, half of him goes free. Chatzio Eved, and half his remains a slave. The Kesed Lake and Muth and Mikra. By Tzia via Kesed, there's no exclusion in the pasuk. Varay he calls choros is like any other merchandise. Shem kol chatzon should be saved sold by halves. Chem matana there in a gift. So there's no monetary acquisition. It can't be halfway. She take out some chatzio matana. They should give the slave half of himself as a gift. Kamuvana, as is obvious. Five gam star shamana shenim will. I said a star that's not effective. It's all. So the second half remains by the master. We're leaving the jurisdiction of the master altogether. Even doesn't go free, only half him. When he gave the second half, he sold or they gave the second half to someone else. Since from the jurisdiction of the original owner, he left completely. Chetzo Eved Lasheni is a Chetzi free and Chetzi slave for the second guy. Tam Pasha, the reason is simple. The Gambe Ishla Matzkin Raksha Teitem Mishusa Baal the Gambe. Interesting rationale. By women, you don't require to leave the jurisdiction of her husband altogether. Like Busha made Shach Shechetzi Tim Sol Acher, but there it's not relevant to give half her to somebody else. The Yesham is Chetzon, you can't marry half a woman. Zelo Lamanu Eved Meisha. Here we do not derive slave from a wife. Akmali against Shichor. I learned this in terms of the get, not in terms of you shall obey trade, a woman can't get married twice. Halfway, that we don't learn. All we learn is when you get shichur, that from in terms of the get shichur, shichur, when the release occurs, you take it's going to leave the jurisdiction of his master. And this turns going to another jurisdiction, it's not comparable to a wife. But with this we have to be meticulous. This half of the release shall come before half of the sale. The Magdim comes first, it doesn't go free. At the time of the release, he didn't completely leave jurisdiction of the master. So first you should preface the half of the sale. Should be simultaneous. One moment he'll sell half and release half. Usually the rega achas yochol afil lagdim ashichul mechira. If it's done simultaneously, so Shulchan seems to me that I can make the release come before the sale. Tok kedibur dami. As long as it's tok kedibur, now the time it takes the shom melecha rabbi, it's all considered to be as if it's simultaneous. V'yesh stop me mo star echad al chatzi ashichul. It's not clear if one star is effective on both the half release and the half of the sale, just like a gift of all of the property to the slave works. Within the bill of his release, much as well as we have seen. Yes, to consider this, a few mashes were according to what we just explained. Ever two partners, one can release his half. Since in his jurisdiction nothing remains. Now the fellow becomes half and half. Pay base. Kosar base. Yosef Sif Samachal. The base. It's right. So somebody writes to his matron Uberis who's pregnant. I read Baskoy, you are free, but your fetus is a slave. It works. Actually, you are mates and your fetus is free. It's ineffective. But the Rishon first of so Perkim of the Kiddushin, first halacha is and Kiddushin daf beites samachtes. But then Shem first begin and second halacha is explicit gittin daf chav gimel. But time the reason is the kaim uber lav yerach imo. We hold a fetus not considered to be like the thigh of the mother. Uber yav yerach imo uber lav yerach imo. They must stay goofy because they they're like two bodies. The Chem Bedin, Harishon Dvar came there from the same. First of all, those words are effective. Then Shay Lomar Klun. Second reason, second case not effective. Should the aim of Koch and the Kabbalah Shtar Shichur Bahara Uber Miyadona. A mother cannot receive a Shtar Shichur for her fetus from her master, which I see Ein Alf. Is that time because of Riben? Pegs 19. Hey, I am Chum. The Gambage Gidin Shum before it came. So it's explicit Gidin. The man that's feel like that Shichur of Vladi Ben Kohen Dvarv Kamim. The person who holds that you the mates remain a slave and your fetus should be free, that works. Before I should tell him Uber Yarchimo. He says because Uber Yarchimo. But not it is part of parts of the mother. But not Mishikin Aloicha Mevarel. And it's as if he bestowed upon her the ownership of one of her limbs. Was feeling he holds a Mishachar Chatziabdo, so he releases half of his a slave. Kana, it's effective. So it's called for the Uber Gita Biyada Maim Rachas his release and his jurisdiction come at once. There's explicit word Avchafei. From there, this of course it comes out. If you might have based on what we hold of Shar Chatzi Avdo Lokana, that the release half of your slave is meaningless. Uver Lavi Archimo, and the fetus is not the thigh, it's mother made Lomar Klum, so automatically it's meaningless. Pagim Amnomik. However, the fetus of Kohenis, Ache Kabo Shtar Shikrobat, Ubar. And somebody else accepts a bill of release for the Ubar. Yetza El Bilcheris, the fetus will go free. Came live Yarchimamo, since it's independent from its mother. On the Mariah, because of Otam Namakna Uber Lokana, Shish Labon, but the Mariah gives another reason why it shouldn't work, because if you try to bestow ownership on a fetus of something, it doesn't work, because he's not in the world. The fetus, according to this Gam Acher, somebody else could also not acquire on his behalf of his freedom. It doesn't sound like that's the issue. Chiparcha didn't say, because when asked this halacha, man say Uber Yav Yarchim, according to Pinos, that the fetus is not the thigh mother, who parich, it asked me time Shin Yochel Kabba get Shulchan Miyad Rabbo, Shalom. That's on account of a slave not being able to receive a bill of release from his own master. Doesn't ask them the issue of not bestowing ownership on a fetus. Ein Sham. When he is talking here, the Vadai de Achashar times it. The Arukh HaShulchan says, certainly by another person, this reason is relevant. Avdim Alo Shach times it, but by a mother, this reason, Mazaka Uber is not an issue. The Afilum Uber Library Imo, even if the fetus is not the thigh of its mother. Zochsabado, she Zochan is bad machine the diet because we say this is the case always by Mizach Uber, that since she is very concerned with her son's welfare, and for him, it's as if he exists, and no Chisona Gamir's Das, which we normally would have. As far as the Babasa, it says about Babasa, who from base, the Acher Vana for another purpose. After Mars Zubakan, and we'll say this for you also. Kankin as well. It was mentioned this issue in the Gemara, because we know it. Please account time according to the previous reason as well. If Shas Uber Loyim aim Lo Acher, neither the mother nor anybody else, is close to Uber the mother, because she can't acquire it for her own fetus, because we are chemo. Another person is close or Uber, and somebody else because they can make a bestow on behalf part of the fetus against Ken Yurel on used IT.